What up, guys? This is going to be a quick little Q&A video where we go over some of the comments, where if you go through in the comments and you leave the hashtag STOLT, then when I get into my YouTube analytics here in the back end, I can actually search for hashtag STOLT and answer some of the comments. So we've got a couple to go over here from Star Trek Theory. What's good, Star Trek Theory? I know you comment on my other channel. If you guys want to check out my other channel, the link is in the description. It is the first YouTube channel where I talk more about politics and business and stuff. But I appreciate you swinging over here from that channel. Did a bottle of Ostarine. I'm assuming he's talking about for research purposes, because we both know they're not for human consumption. Started a new job, and by the way, none of the shit we talk about here is like any even slight recommendation for advice that you should do. You should probably not do what you see some fucking clown on the internet doing, and you should focus on understanding what's going on in here for yourself, and whatever you need to do to accomplish that. Started a new job and stopped working out, but continued the cycle. Definitely bulked up just from job and shrank back down about 3 to 4 weeks. I was pretty lethargic, but that might have just been running around and general stresses. Interesting. I think lethargy is a lethargic feeling that way is potential side effect that I've seen other people have. I think the only time that I've kind of subtly noticed that is with researching mk2866, and again, like you said, I'm not sure if it was from that compound or not. In terms of, did I feel kind of slightly slower? Like I didn't know where that energy was coming from that dose, like days or weeks or whatever, where I just was kind of not like on point all the time. But I don't know if it was from that or what it was from. So I also take generally speaking, a fucking retarded amount of caffeine that I'm actually just now starting to cycle for the first time in nearly a decade and a half of usage, where there's been very brief moments where I haven't taken caffeine, but in the macro, it's basically been 16 years of me taking caffeine or caffeine pill, pretty much caffeine pills every single day, multiple times a day. So I like keep a spare bottle in the cupboard, and I have them in the cupboard, and then I have them in my like gym bag, and then I'll have them in my like fucking food bag, and I realize that I am doing this with my food and having a variety of food for the micronutrients and adding spices and herbs for the extra nutrients and as a side effect, my fucking shit tastes awesome, but I'm continuing to do something every single day at a relatively, probably high dose. I mean, it would probably be equal to, for like 2 cups of coffee on average, to say maybe like, I don't know, on a really extreme day, I'd maybe have 1,000 milligrams, which would be like 5 cups of coffee. That's not that extreme, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a ton. I've drank like pots of coffee in a day before. When I like didn't have any money and it was cheaper to buy coffee than it was to buy caffeine pills, at least the math that I was doing in my head, per like milligram or something. Anyways, so I take a lot of caffeine to help offset that lethargy, but clearly, as you can see, that is gone because I have a retarded amount of energy every single day. And the next is Star Trek Theory. You wear suits off the rack? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Sometimes I have to get taken in. A lot of the times I have to go up in the pant size, but then I have to take them in because the fucking waist is so big. Because like I need a bigger pant size because my legs like don't fit in the pants half the time, or they're just like tighter than my girlfriend's pants. Like, they're so incredibly fucking tight. There's just like an outline of like my cock. So, which is fine. Like, I'd be okay wearing those every once in a while. But just from a comfort standpoint of movement, I go with the next size up, which are still really snug. But then the waist ends up being too fucking big. So it's just like in the waist, it's just way too big. So I have to generally get the waist taken in. But the jackets, I'm like a 42 regular, which may sound weird because I think a lot of people buy jackets that are like too big for my style. And I think it's a much more modern look, personally, to just have a more fitted clothing in 2019. But to each their own. There's like no judgment. I don't give a fuck how anybody else dresses or what they do. Just my personal preference of how I view things and that kind of thing. But appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Use hashtag Stolt so that we can talk about it in the next Q&A video. Or jump over to Instagram and say what's good, or check out the channel on politics.